Hello, thank you very much indeed for joining me today. The topic today is, would you like to be an outstanding information technologist and help businesses to succeed? Now, this topic is relevant to university students studying information technology. It is also helpful for the students who are studying at A level as well. So before we go any further, let me share my screen. So back to our topic. Would you like to be an outstanding information technologist and help businesses to succeed? My name is Kirti Devendra. I have a lot of experience in aerospace industry and also in other areas as well. So before I start, I would like to show you a video. So let's look at the video first.
They would buy engines built by Rolls-Royce, capable of providing 30% more thrust than the engines used on the 747. Each massive power plant costs $15 million, as much as a ton of gold. Altogether, they account for almost 25% of the cost of the entire plane. But if there's one thing this aircraft needs, it's thrust that won't quit. Each engine provides up to 80,000 pounds of force. Running at top speed, this mega guzzler sucks down a litre of gasoline every second. The A380 is designed for routine flights lasting 13 hours or more. That means when it's fully tanked for takeoff, the A380 carries a lot of fuel. 260,000 litres, 20% more than the load carried by the 747. Just imagine what would happen if anything threatened the integrity of one of those fuel tanks, like a catastrophic engine failure that sends shards of metal tearing through them. That's the nightmare that haunts engineers at Rolls-Royce, and they're about to destroy an engine to make sure it never occurs. These 24 titanium fan blades suck air into the maw of this A380 engine. Each blade is 1 meter in length and weighs 15 kilograms. Lightweight, but super strong. When the engine is roaring along at full throttle, the blades spin at almost 3,000 revolutions per minute. The centrifugal force at the tip of each blade is equivalent to the weight of a 110-ton locomotive. If one of these were to break off and escape into the engine, it could wreak unimaginable destruction to the plane. That's why Rolls-Royce engineers are about to conduct an engine failure test. They're going to intentionally cause one of the fan blades to break off at full speed in order to prove that the engine enclosure can contain the damage without letting any metallic fragments escape. In the process, they will totally trash this $15 million engineering marvel, a small price to pay when the lives of over 550 people could be at stake. A super slow-motion camera captures every moment in excruciating detail. The blades are striped to make visual measurement easier. When the fan is spinning at full speed, engineers send a signal to explosive bolts at the base of the multicolored test blade. Faster than even this camera can see, the knife-like piece of metal shears off and flies into the engine mechanism, wreaking havoc, but no fragments escape. The A380 engines are safe for flight, but there are many more pieces to the puzzle.
So that's only one of the tests that Rolls-Royce carries out to prove their products are reliable and safe. Each of these tests costs many millions of pounds. The whole test program could cost billions of pounds. And the number of people involved are thousands of people in various areas. So these are large organizations. So let's come back to our main topic. So you all wish to be successful information technologists. That means you have the opportunity to become not just an information technologist, you have the opportunity to become an outstanding information technologist. And I believe you all can reach that goal. But how? What do you have to do to be outstanding and successful? All you have to do is to define your goals, develop a plan, follow the plan with 100% dedication and commitment. That is very easy sounding, isn't it? Actually, it's not that difficult. It is easy. We'll show you how. Now, what do an information technologist do? Can anybody answer me? Now, they make sure that the information necessary for managing a business successfully are available in the most effective way. That's a lot of work. We will discuss this topic in more detail later. That's a very quick and short introduction. In my talk, I'll be going through various topics. So let me very briefly look at those topics. I'll look at the university education and what you're doing at the university, how information technologies helping businesses to succeed, what do they do, how to plan and reach your goals, the importance of your first job and the importance of continuous learning. What do people do at jobs? Processes and change management. We'll again cover that in detail during the discussion. How does your work impact the society? What is the usefulness for the average people in the society living in your country, in the world? What are the skills shown or required by an outstanding professional? What's the relationship between science, engineering, technology, products, services, and all the other activities in the society, in the commercial world? One of the key things is that to be successful and happy, you need to contribute to the happiness and success of other people. You need to be a leader. So that's a very important fact. So following this path, you can become an outstanding information technologist. You can become a real professional serving the society. And we will cover the details in a minute. So let's go back again. What is information technology? I looked at the definitions, and one definition is the use of systems, especially computers and telecommunications, for storing, retrieving, and sharing information. So that means information technologies help to collect the data, store them, and share them as necessary, and perhaps sometimes to evaluate the information as well. So the information technology is creating communication networks for an organization. They protect data and protect information. They manage databases. They help employees to troubleshoot problems with their computers or mobile devices. They also ensure the efficiency and security of business information. These are very important critical information. Now, these activities include planning, organizing, as well as staffing and providing enough staff to do these things for the purpose of achieving the desired goals of the organization. So the information technology ensure the quality and the timely delivery of products and services to the customers of the organization. Because all these organizations, wherever you work, they are delivering a product or a service to the customers. Now, we talked about product and services. So let's look at the historical evolution of products and services and associated services. But before that, Can anyone be successful and be outstanding? The answer is yes. What about your starting qualification? Do they matter? Regardless of your starting position, you all can achieve outstanding success. That is the general truth. But many people don't know that. We will discuss the factors that will guide you in the direction of success. So, we are going to look at the history of products and services. 25,000 years ago, what were the first type of products people had, perhaps? Can you think of anything? Probably the bow and arrow, maybe a few other things. 6,000 years ago, the wheel appeared. That was an important and very critical discovery at the time. And 4,500 years ago, the pyramids appeared. About 2,300 years ago, the Great Chinese Wall was started or constructed. Only about 200 years ago, the bicycle appeared. Now, at that stage, we did not have any cars or motorcycles or mobile phones or anything, nothing. So the cycle appeared only 200 years ago. About 120 years ago, again, a very important invention. We don't think like that nowadays. We take it for granted. The paperclip appeared. And about 119 years ago, one important thing happened. The invention of the aircraft, ability to fly. And about 40 years ago, the mobile phone, the first mobile phones appeared. So what's the common link with all these things? The common link is someone understood how some aspect of nature works, and they applied that knowledge to create a product that fulfills a society's need. So, did they have information technology to help complete these tasks successfully? An important question. Yes, they did. The only thing is, at that stage, the information technology was passed from word to mouth, or parents to children, or family to family. At the beginning, they didn't even write they couldn't even write anything. It's all verbal information. Later on, the ability to write things came around. The difference today is we have more electronic techniques. We can communicate faster, quicker, and we can make decisions much faster. So that's the only difference: the speed of sharing information and speed of making decisions, and effective making decisions. Every product is engineered to make life easy for humans. Most of the time, science and technology is developed first, then the product is created. Then it becomes an item that fulfills the human need. Motor car, laser technology, internet, mobile communication, many other historical examples are in this category. So every engineered product fulfills the society's need. But we might argue whether such needs are justified or if they are adding any value to the human well-being. That's a different question. How does the world work? Science, engineering, and technology has evolved for many centuries and will continue to evolve. And they will create products and services that consumers need and want. Once a product is or a service is established to meet a demand or to meet a requirement, large volume manufacturing capability or service delivery to a large customer base becomes an essential part, essential requirement. And that creates a lot of economic activities. Service industries such as banking, insurance, maintenance, they have all evolved around all the above activities, creating products and services. So before engineers can create a product, scientists need to understand how the nature works, and discover new possibilities. Excuse me. Usually scientists do research because they love the subject and they are thirsty for knowledge, and they create new knowledge. So scientific discoveries and engineering creations can change people's way of thinking, leading to a paradigm shift. I wouldn't go into a lot of details about paradigm shift, but it's worth thinking about it. For example, hundreds of years ago, people assumed and believed the sun was rotating around the earth. Then some scientists came and put forward some theories. Eventually they proved it, that actually earth is rotating around the sun, not the other way around. So that is a paradigm shift. So sometimes the beliefs are not necessarily correct, but if the people are believing that, we have to follow that. So based on scientific discoveries, engineers and technologists create new products and services and develop new technology. Information technology support all these activities. They are an essential part. Managers and leaders coordinate activities to deliver the products to the right quality, right cost, and on time, and the right quantity. Entrepreneurs convert these new products and services into successful businesses. Marketing and sales people understand the market, and they ensure that the products delivered are what the customers want. There are many other professionals. There are many other professions and professionals carrying out supporting activities, but I wouldn't go into a lot of details. So let's look at a quick process chart, how the science create products. So the first thing is generation of scientific knowledge. Then somebody imagines the possibility of an application of using that knowledge. Then that somebody or somebody else develop a concept, and they do a lot of analysis. And they create a design or a product. Based on the design, they develop a new product and put it into the market. Once it's in the market, that helps to create even more knowledge. And that knowledge leads to more analysis and upgrade of designs, upgrade of products. So this cycle goes on, gradually improving the products all the time. Now here, I'm talking as if only scientists and engineers are doing all the work. Not really true. Information technology also plays an essential role in all these stages, as well as many other professions. So that process chart showed how a product is created. But the problem is, or the requirement is, when a product is created, if there is a lot of demand, we have to develop technology, produce them in large scale. How does that work? Engineering design, first stage is prototype product, and that product is tested in many, many different ways. You show that for the aircraft engines, you saw one test, but there are many, many more tests like that. And with the testing and analysis, we prove that the product is right. Product meets all the requirements like safety, reliability, cost, ease of use, and things like that. So if the product satisfies everything, then we have to develop the manufacturing technology to manufacture the product in large scale. That also involves a lot of activities. So that is how we end up with large scale production. Once again, information technology play an essential role in all these stages. In addition, some activities may depend on things like artificial intelligence, machine learning, or other related technologies. So we looked at aircrafts and aero engines very quickly. We looked at a video. It gave an example of some of the critical work, like critical testing to demonstrate safety and reliability. There are many large companies in the aero engine business or aircraft business. They design, develop, and manufacture aircrafts and aero engines. Each product consists of many thousands of parts assembled together. These parts or manufacturers manufactured mostly by supply organizations. If you look at the number of employees, Rolls-Royce employs something like 52,000 people. That's the 2019 figure. Airbus employs about something like 130,000 people. Boeing employs 142,000 people. That's 2021 figure. Now, in addition to that, there are lots of suppliers, subcontractors. There are many hundreds of other thousands of other people working for these industries. And the information technologist has to support all these people, all these activities. So, as I said, there are many professions. Engineers and scientists are not sufficient. We need information technologists. They play a critical part. Business managers, accounting and finance officers, human resource managers, and many, many other professions. So I'm here talking about the aircraft and aero engine industry, but it's the same with other industrial sectors. There are many, many skills, many different types of professions, as well as information technologists. Information technologists play a critical role in today's industry, today's businesses. So let's have a more detailed look at some of the things aerospace technology, in the Aerospace Technology Center, what information technologists are doing. They define and manage customer requirements. They help system design and system modeling. When I say system, it's a large group of components working together. They also help component design. And the interesting thing is, because of information technology, nowadays, more than one person can work on the same design work. Then the manufacturing specifications, large volume manufacture, monitor and control of the quality during manufacture, supplier management, ordering process, component and system testing. So once you design and model the systems and the components, you have to test them mechanically. And we have to collect data and analyze them again. Managing finance, tax payments, managing human resources, and the progress of the employees, training courses, many, many other things. So this is in aero engine industry, aircraft industry, the similar things, similar requirements exist in other industrial sectors. Now, let me show you one example of an information technology application in aero engines. Here, what we are going to look at is a model created using information technology to understand how certain part of engine works in reality. So this is part of the turbine. Can you see the kind of red kind of bubble? That's the air flowing through the engine. The blades are rotating at very high speed. Now, that's only a few seconds, but that has taken a lot of effort from a lot of people to create that model using information technology. So where do we have opportunities for the information technologists? You all have opportunities, not only in Sri Lanka, all over the world. So remember that. You need to be prepared to work at a world scale. Of course, you can work in Sri Lanka. There is no problem. You can be an outstanding technologist in Sri Lanka. But if you want, you can be an outstanding technologist in any other country as well. So engineering industries, manufacturing industries, service industries, banking, insurance, many others, agricultural products, travel, education, chemicals, consumer products, construction, communication. So there we are talking about technologies. I like to highlight a slight difference between technologist and a leader. The technologist is an employee of the organization responsible for fulfilling clearly defined technology-related tasks, activities. A leader is a person who leads, guides, and directs. Leader is the one who inspires, encourages, and influences his men to work willingly to achieve the organization's objectives. So the technologist becomes an outstanding technologist by becoming an effective leader while fulfilling the allocated technical responsibilities. So leadership is a skill. One becomes a leader by developing these skills. On the other hand, technology is a discipline. Many different types of technologies exist. And the practitioner of this discipline is known as a technologist. And you will be learning all these technical skills within your university course. Now, I was talking about general information technology. There are new possibilities which has appeared in the recent years. So the future potential, artificial intelligence is a very important and critical area. What is it? Artificial intelligence is a branch of computer science that aim to create intelligent machines that can think and work like humans. For example, speech recognition, problem solving, learning and planning. Machine learning is another area. Again, it's part of artificial intelligence. It uses computer systems and they are able to learn and adapt without any explicit instructions. They use logarithms and statistical models to analyze and draw inferences from patterns of data. One more thing, virtual reality. Virtual reality is the name for computer technology that generates a three-dimensional image or environment so that people can interact in a seemingly real way. It uses software to produce images, sounds, and other sensations to create the different place so that the user feels like he or she is part of that environment. In such situations, usually the person interacting with the environment will be using special electronic equipment, such as a helmet with a screen or gloves fitted with sensors. Now, I know you are already still in the university. There are a few more years to go, but still worth thinking about this. Your first job. You can start anywhere. Irrespective of your starting point, you can be an outstanding technologist or an outstanding leader. So keep learning and keep developing skills. Many people think when they finish university education, that's the end of learning. That's not true. We have to keep learning and developing throughout our life to be happy and successful. But that doesn't mean that you don't have any life. That doesn't mean that you don't have fun. We'll cover that later on. So in the first 3 months, usually we'll be learning to do the job. It would be good to have a mentor, but it's not always possible. If there is no official mentor, be friendly with the existing staff and your supervisors or superiors. Ask for their help. If you're not sure of something, always ask for clarification. If you are involved in a job with technology and technical activities, ensure that you have a thorough understanding of the technical requirements. Ensure you learn, understand, and always follow the written processes, because in all these organizations, there are written processes. So that's the first 3 months. But beyond the 3 months, you have to keep following the processes, keep doing the things. And after 1 year or so thereabout, it is generally expected that you will be able to help any newcomers to do the job that you are doing. After 2 years in the job, you may be experienced enough to identify any opportunities to improve the processes. But if you identify any improvement opportunities, don't try to do it yourself. Get you have colleagues, superiors, and peers involved. Do it together, work together. And there are many people, especially in the countries like UK, they change their jobs every 3 years. Now that is not essential, but that could be helpful sometimes. So the key learning areas in any job, you must learn, how does my job fit in with my departmental objectives? How do I contribute to my department? And then you have to learn, how does the goals of your department, objectives of your department, how do they fit into the larger organizational objectives? How do they satisfy the end customer requirements? So understanding these things will help you to become an outstanding leader, outstanding technologist. Now, normally each person's career could go on for 30, 40 years. During your career, during your life, it's good to change the type of companies you are working. If you're working in small companies all the time, it's good to spend at least a couple of years in a large company. If you have been working in a large company, it's good to spend at least a couple of years in a small company, because the routines and the processes are different. So the information technologists, what type of skills do they need? The main responsibility is solve problems. Solve problems relating to information technology associated with business deliverables. It may be to do with production. It may be able to do with finance. It could be to do with human resources. It may be with suppliers or customers, but they are all to do with solving problems using information technology. But you have to do it with the maximum effect. You have to find, when there is a problem, you have to find the solutions with maximum benefits, with the lowest effective cost. And you should be able to implement it in a timely manner with minimum disturbance to the organization. So to do that with minimum disturbances, you must understand the requirements very clearly. You must be effective communicators. You must be good at teamwork. So those are the skills you have to develop. So let's look at some of the personal skills that are required. So understand the technical issues relating to information technology. Understanding the requirements to satisfy organizational objectives. Communication skills, that includes listening, explaining, writing, presentation, and language. Now, of course, as I said, sometimes you may have to work in some other country where the language is not English or your mother tongue. So you may have to learn that language to be effective in communications. For example, I worked in Germany for 10 years and I learned German. Before that, I did learn a bit of French, but not sufficient to work in France, but enough to say good morning, good afternoon. And you must develop organizational skills. Teamwork is essential. Now, some of these skills I'm talking about, do you think you can develop some of these skills at school or at university? The answer is yes. You can develop some of these skills to a great extent. And it would help if you do some extracurricular activities at the university, because that would help you to develop communication skills, maybe organizational skills, teamwork. Any activities outside what you learn is good, as well as learning, of course, as well as your technical subjects. Now, one other thing, a very important thing is setting priorities. Outstanding leaders are very good at setting priorities. When there are lots of tasks to do, you must list the tasks, identify required completion date. You have to agree them with your superiors or with your customers or whoever is expecting the results. You have to prioritize them. when there is a lot of activities to do, you must do the important and urgent tasks first. Not just important and urgent, because some of the important tasks are not urgent. Some of the urgent tasks may not be important. So you must learn to distinguish these things. If there are lots of important and urgent tasks that can happen at times, first do the easy ones to get them out of the way. So urgent and important, if there's a lot, do the easy ones first. Also, find out the lessons you can learn from the past experience and apply them rigorously. You must always agree the deliverables with your stakeholders. And sometimes halfway through the work, you may have to change the dates, you may have to change the deliverable conditions, but you have to agree them in advance with the stakeholders. As I said, if there are too many tasks, even after prioritizing, if you are struggling, then talk to the stakeholders, take to your superiors, agree new dates, get extra help, do whatever it takes. That is a very important skill. Outstanding leaders are also always helpful to others. They help others to be successful. They help others to be happy. Successful people always encourage and help others. Don't just fulfill your duties at work. Go out of the way to help your colleagues or subordinates or your boss to succeed in their job. The more people benefit from your services and helpfulness, the more successful and happy you will be. In fact, if there are lots of people depending on your skills, you might even earn a lot of income. That's the way of the universe. One other aspect, taking responsibility. Successful people always take full responsibility for their actions. If things do not work out and things go wrong, they do not look for someone else to blame. I don't know if you have heard about Abdul Kalam. He was one of the presidents in India, but before he became the president, he was the chairman of the aerospace agency in India. And they were supposed to send the first satellite or first rocket, and they couldn't meet the date. So he didn't blame anybody. He simply went in front of the nation and said, I'm sorry, I could not deliver it, I failed. But a few months later, they were successful. When they were successful, he didn't go in front of the television and claim, I was successful. He simply said to his colleagues, his subordinates, he said, you go in front of the world and tell how successful you were. So he was prepared to give the credit to his subordinates. But failure, he accepted the responsibility. Success, he gave the credit. The successful people always look for what has gone wrong, not who has been wrong. They look for some way to influence the circumstances, people to get better results next time. Sometimes this can be a slow process, yet highly productive. They take everything that goes wrong as an opportunity for them to learn and improve. So that's a very important thing. Anything that goes wrong is an opportunity to learn. Dealing with success and failures, as I mentioned, as you progress towards your goals, you can have setbacks. It's natural, it's normal. Treat every setback as an opportunity. Find out the lessons you can learn and apply them. It is also important to celebrate your successes, even the small ones, regularly. So don't just carry on working. Even the small successes, take the opportunity to celebrate with yourself and with your colleagues and with your subordinates, whoever around. Now, what is success? What exactly is success? A successful person will be healthy. Successful person will be content with what they have. They are grateful for what they have. At the same time, they have goals to improve. They are joyful. They are always fun to be with. reasonable level of physical comfort. They will have some reasonable level of physical comfort, not necessarily luxurious things, because they are always happy with what they have. They will have enough money when you are working, I mean, not as a student. Even as a student, you have to learn to manage your finance. The most important thing is continuous growth. They grow every day, every week, every month, gradually in some area. They improve themselves gradually every day. So that's the most important thing. Think of something and do something better today compared to what you did yesterday. It doesn't matter how small it is. You will discover that in a few months, you are a much better, much stronger, much more skillful person. Ability to help others is also extremely important. So help anybody you can think of. So why is that only some people are successful, not everybody? Is that because of the money? They didn't have, successful will have more money, is that it? Or is that the family influence? Or is that the power they have? Actually, none of them are really that important. The secret of success is, before I tell the secrets, can everyone be successful? Yes, everyone can be successful. Successful people have clear goals and they regularly review those goals and update them. They have the right type of behavior. They have the right type of mindset. They always think positively. They think with the glass is half full kind of attitude, half full attitude. They have the commitment, 100% commitment. They have the passion to do whatever it takes. They are determined to do whatever it takes to get the results. They never give up. You may have heard that Thomas Alva Edison, who created the light bulb, I think he failed about 1,000 times. When somebody asked him, why did he fail 1,000 times? He said, no, I didn't fail 1,000 times. I learned 1,000 ways to improve the product. So continuous growth and improvement, yet again, I keep saying this. That's the most important thing. And of course, a little bit of good guidance helps. So find a mentor or a teacher or somebody to advise you, get an independent view. That is a helpful thing to do. I'm continuing with this theme, how to achieve your success. You need a balanced effort and continuous growth in all areas of your life. Now, what are the areas of your life? Studies, your job, money, managing finance, fun and joy, relationships, family, health and fitness, helping others. They're all important things. But you have to grow in all these areas, not just one area. Some people do a lot of hard work and study all the time, but they are not necessarily successful. Some people focus on the money when they are working. They are not successful either. Only those people who get the right balance, they become joyful, they become successful, and they become leaders. So keep saying continuous growth, continuous improvement in all these areas, little by little. And outstanding leaders do not compare themselves with others to grow, by the way. They compare their own performance today relative to how they performed yesterday or day before or last week ago. Every day they make a minute improvement in a selected area. They take every small setback as an opportunity to learn. Some of you may have heard of PDCA cycle. What is PDCA? This applies to every area of your life that I talked about: family, friends, relationships, fitness, job, finance. First thing is plan. Identify activities to achieve your goals. Have some goals. Identify activities to reach those goals. So you have a plan. You must have the processes as well to get there. Then do the activities. Implement the processes. Carry out the tasks you're supposed to do. Check. Just don't carry on doing. Stop for a minute and stop and check the progress. Look at the results. Are you achieving the results as you expected on time? Based on what you have learned, act again. Identify areas that needs attention. Create a new plan, modified plan. So go around the circle all the time. So this is the improvement PDCA. You are sitting in the middle. You plan, do, check, and act. Keep on doing that in every area of your life, every day into a small extent. In a few months, couple of years, you'll be one of the best outstanding leaders, outstanding technologists in the entire planet. I promise you. Now, I'm going to share another video. Watch this video carefully and tell me what you think.
Stay with your brother.
Hello?
Is the pharmacist in here? I'm looking for 10 liters of Ligroin.
You won't get those stains out of that dress. Better buy a new one.
It's not for my dress. It's for my carriage.
Are you trying to poison your horses?
Do you have 10 liters or not?
Now, what did you think? Did you notice that when she was driving that car, people thought she was a witch? So what happened? That was August 5th, 1888. Before 1886, people had only seen horse-driven vehicles, horse-driven carriages. In 1886, on the 29th of January, Carl Benz applied for a patent for a new item. It was a vehicle powered with a gas engine. The patent number was 37435, and that is possibly considered as the birth certificate of the first automobile, first car. The cars didn't exist before that. So that is the one and only car the world ever had before that date, on that date. Now what happened was, on that date, Bertha Benz decided to take that car out for a drive without telling her husband. Now she was the business partner, by the way. Carl Benz was a very good engineer. He was an inventor, but he was a little bit not outgoing. He didn't believe as much as his wife did. So Bertha Benz decided to prove that his invention is the right one. It will work. So secretly, she got her two sons ready, and she decided to drive without telling the husband from Pforzheim in Germany, from Mannheim in Germany to Pforzheim in Germany, her parents' home, in that car. That was only 112 kilometers, about 70 miles. And she took 12 hours to go that distance. There were many breakdowns. So what you saw was one of those events. Of course, the film was made recently to reflect what happened, but that reflects the reality. That Ligroin is the petroleum product they used at the time. So what is different between Bertha Benz? She had the courage. She believed in herself. She was prepared to take a risk. She was not frightened of failures. She was prepared to do whatever it takes to get the results. She proved to the whole world that the motor vehicle was real and it was there to stay. She showed how her husband's invention can help the world to develop. So in your work, when you work as an information technologist in an industry or in an academic institution or some other organization, you may come across situations where you could improve products or processes or services. Keep an eye on for such opportunities. Your idea of process improvement or the new product or the new service you have created in your mind may not be the same class as that of Carl Benz, but it will still be valuable. It will give you a lot of pleasure and help others. You may have some difficulty to convince your colleagues, peers, or superiors that your idea is a good one when that happens. So what do you do if that happens? Now, that's not the topic for today's discussion. But you all can be there. You all can be excellent innovators, excellent technologists, excellent, outstanding leaders. Now, in preparing this talk, I used a lot of information from various organizations, Rolls-Royce, Wikipedia, Mercedes-Benz, Pinterest, TRL Productions, and also I wish to thank my friend Imana Naikar. So thank you all for listening.